All right, guys, we're starting at 8:15, and I'm going to put the music on, and that counts. That counts as an 8:15 start. Hold on. Where's the music? Hold on. Let me see. Get off mute. Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. All right, give me a second. I'll be right back. Where are we? Boom, boom, boom. Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second. All righty. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's make sure I'm on the right mic. It's been jumping mics again. And hopefully we're not slowed down. It looks like they're still having problems with them internets, but I think we're okay now. Let's go to this chart and go here. Netflix is tonight. I think this is super interesting what's going on here. So what we're going to do is clean it all off and start over. And click on this and start with the 4-hour. Good morning, by the way. Start here. Drop that down. I think it's super interesting that you can't get through that. I think super interesting. This might be the good one. Let me just see this one. Is that the good one? Put this out there and let's just do this. I think I have enough in here. Netflix earnings. WAL. Let me put this over here because I'm running out of space because I got this quote on there, but this is what I'm going to have to use. Earnings, Netflix earnings. Zion was good. Good. And I'll put them all in that were good. And then you just have to deal with the quote. Zion, General Motors, Galaxy. Good. Invite if you are on the wait list. All right. Save. There you go. All right. Yay, you got a banner. Yay. Let's go back to this, pull this up. What's up, guys? Here we are. Here we are. All right. So I think it's super interesting. You can't get to there. Now, whether or not we do, we'll see. Let's go to the 5-minute and let's drop this down like it's hot. And you can kind of see where we're at. I actually think that you're going to get above it, and I'll tell you why. I think you're going to get above it. I think you're going to get above it because I think it's the big caps that are going to move. And I think the big caps are going to move because they're buying the dollar. I think that's why you're going to see gold and silver drop. I think that's the trade. Like if I had to think about the trade, like the whole trade, it's gold drops, silver drops. They buy the dollar, and because they're buying the dollar, they buy the Mag 7. And that's where they park money for a while. And they get out of this speculative stuff into the end of the year. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay. If we take a look at these, work a lot better. These blue light ones, they have the red ones for night. They work great because you can't see anything. But if I wear the red ones, I did notice this because people ask me about them. If I wear the red ones, I sleep like a freaking baby. Like if I put them on 2 hours before bed, like, man, nothing. I don't wake up at all. Like it's a real deep sleep. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, I would watch, but I think that you might get through that. Now, to me, they're your levels. Like I don't know that there's anything more to those levels. So I don't know that you would have to care about anything more than what I have there. I mean, we could draw other stuff, but I think it's pointless. I'm not really sure how much, Friday CPI is going to matter. Like CPI matters to me, but it only really matters if I have PPI to me, because the PPI tells me how much the producers are spending on the product. So I'm more interested in that from a corporate profit standpoint. We know rents are lower. So you're riding the lightning. And NQ is leading, but the breadth of this market is awful. The breadth of this market is so bad. How bad is it? It's so bad that it's almost bullish. It's that bad. Like it can't get much worse. That's how bad the breadth is on some of this stuff. It's crazy. Like 52-week lows on the S&P are pretty much at trough levels. So maybe it is time to turn. I don't know. But you're fighting that on the NQ, and that's the level, and that's what I would watch. The only other thing that you could say to do, we could strip this out because we don't need it right now, but the only thing that you could really say to do, and here's how I would do this. Let's rip the Band-Aid off there. Let's make sure we have the exact right spot, and we'll drop this down. And then the only other thing that I think you really want to watch out of this is going to be this. Like, other than that, do you really care about anything else? Not really, right? Like, you really don't care. So there's nothing really there that you would have to really give, anything about. So that's really how I see it. I do think there's some names that we should probably go over. Let me drop this in here. And I do want to go to the SPY. And then what we'll do here is we'll just look at our levels and see if they've moved or if anything's changed on them. Or anything that we have to care about. 675, you're still there. All right, so they moved that up. I like doing this live. I think it's way more helpful. So they have moved you up. So they're getting tighter. That's for sure. And you moved up too. No, you're pretty much, you're getting tighter for sure. Let's go see something here and see if that still stands. No, that all went away. That's so interesting. So you got a clear shot. So you have a clear shot now to about 671, which is really where you're at. And then if you can get through 674, you have a shot at getting there today. So should be interesting to see how that plays out, but you do have it. I don't really think we need the fib levels. I mean, I think it's pretty clear what you're looking for. And that's how I'd run my bias, just by looking at that whole thing. I don't know what's going to get you to fall apart, and I don't know what's going to get the Apple, Googles, Metas, Microsofts of the world to drop if the dollar starts stabilizing, which it is. I think that's how you should look at that. I don't need you. Remove. Yay. And let's go take a look at this and make sure they're still in the same spot. And I'm pretty sure that they are. Again, that's how I do this. I do it through, I get 3 different services, but I have the actual feed to the market, which is super expensive. And one of the things I plan on doing in January, and well, I'm trying to do it sooner, but if you know me and you know how that community goes, I'm trying to give everyone access to the stuff I have. It's just super expensive. But I have the actual feed, so I can actually calculate it myself. But sometimes I'll just look at some of these services, and they're usually pretty darn. Some of them are better than other. I'm doing these. Some of them are just god awful. But yeah, you moved up, man. So they moved the call wall up on the Qs, so they are moving it higher. So you have room, more room than I thought. So let's keep going. So 615 is going to be an issue, I think. But other than that, I think you're okay. And I think it's just going to be the larger cap names again. Let me just check one more thing while I have you, and then we'll go and I can answer questions. Wow. And so now that flipped. All right. Yeah, I mean, the option positioning on the market as a whole and the futures positioning by CTAs, it's actually getting stronger. So CTAs are not selling. Option market makers are actually rolling up, not down. So do with that what you will. I personally think it's got to do, if you know, since you asked, why do you think that is? I'm glad you asked. I think it's got to do with the dollar. I think the whole trade's the dollar. See, if the dollar stabilizes, they throw money into the market. Europe and Asia throw money into the market if the dollar stabilizes, and they buy U.S. equities, right? And so that's what's happening. You're stabilizing, right? Okay. So if we go here and just look at RSI, which people say doesn't work, but you just send them a picture of this. You don't even have to say anything to them. You just show them this and just watch them get all angry. So you can see right here, right? And then you can see how you have that level right here. Okay. Okay. So you have your divergence, which is telling you that, hey, you might have put a bottom in. And I think that's important. Okay. If that stabilizes, they buy US equities and they buy the big dogs. Just remember that. I'm going to take questions because there's a lot going on out there. Let's start with Netflix. I think it's a good spot to start. Let me flip this over so I'm not bothered. I'm floored by the vol yesterday. See that volume coming in? It's really important to look at this. Give me 1 second. I got to check something out. Let me pull this up. I'm going to see this because I think I can add value on this. You don't even have anything massive on this until you get to 1300. So like all the way these people are positioned going into the quarter is that they're at least going to see this. They're predicting like 100 points. Like if you look at the option market, and the easiest way to look at the implied vol is take the strike. Just go look at the strike, right? And then just go and look at where the option vol is on it. So like if you ever want to figure out like what are the chances of how this is going to move, I'll show you how to do this like super quick. I'll show you in like 2 seconds how to do this. It's very easy. Let me just grab this thing off the internet. I'll just grab it from my BKR and I'll just do it super quick so you guys can do this. See that? 40 and 50. So make that 40, not 50. So you take the 1250 and you add 40 and 50 to it. And then you realize that you could be 90 up or 90 down. That's really what they're saying there. If you want to figure it out. So like you could have a big move tonight, 90 points. It's $1,200 stock. And then you could figure out the percentage from there. But you take the closest strike and then just add the call to that and go from there. And then we'll see from there. So, but I think it's a super interesting, like watch. And maybe, maybe it's me, but like, if I look at that, man, it's just constant all day. And then watch from 1 o'clock on. Like it's just constant for the guy asking about Netflix. That's not that's not normal for them. Like if you go back and look at how this usually works, here's the quarter, right? It's not usually that kind of vol. Like you'll see it after, but very rarely do you see it that day. So I think it's super interesting that you're seeing that. You haven't gone anywhere since the last quarter. So like if you really look at where you open, gap down, and you're at the same area from the last quarter, expectations are really low for these big dogs this quarter, like really low. So I don't know, man. I would watch this. This could be something tonight. You know, this could be big. And you had a lot going on this quarter with sports and everything else. And I'd watch this. I would. I think there's something to that trade, man. So what do you got for us? eBay. Google looks amazing. So let's do AA. I do think that you're in that level right in here. But I don't know that you want to do it. Like where's the edge? The eBay's fascinating to me because of what it's doing. So you did everything, like eBay did everything right, man. Like, look, you pulled back to that level, test. So say it. I don't know, man. Like that looks like it's going to rip people's heads off, right? I really like this trade. I think that you have a real shot here. Because look at your base. Like you should, like I should probably put this in because I can already tell where they are. But say it like you're right there. Like you're over going into this. So that means you're getting institutions buying this ahead of this. I know people are like, I spend too much time on one trade, but if the trade makes sense, then I think it's worth spending our time on. You got to have a lot of resistance at 100. A lot. But this is telling you that they think you're going to have a good quarter. So, you know, if you're looking to play it, that might have a good quarter. There's definitely something to that. There's no way it's 855. What do you want? Oh, you're late. What was the other one you had, brother, that we want to look at? Google, I don't want to go through. I mean, what's to say? It's hitting highs. Looks fantastic. Like there's not really a whole hell of a lot to say about it. I want to buy it. I don't know that I have to like rush into it. I would be shocked if you break your level here. I would really be shocked. You could, and then I think you run over it, but I think you're getting to it, but I don't think you're there yet. I think you might undercut it and then bounce. But that's really what I'm looking for there. Historically with this name, anytime you're down in this range and you're looking like long-term, it's really hard to go wrong with this name. Like when you're that oversold and you're just not there. So I don't know. It's something that I really have to get involved with. To me, it's like, if it does this, then I'll get involved, you know, like longer term. Like if I'm a long-term guy with this name. On the short term, your money's better spent in different areas than here. That's for darn sure. So, I mean, technically you got a lot of work to do. You know, you're just starting to break from a technical standpoint. Like if you're looking for a short-term bounce, It's probably there off 270. And it looks to me like if the market truly bounces here, it's going to just rip people's heads off. So I don't really see the sense in doing a lot here right now with it. I got asked a lot about this in the room, like a lot yesterday, and I'm just not there yet. If you're looking long term, I think it goes lower. If you're looking on the short term, we'll go from there. What's up, Di? CLF, a bunch of guys are playing that. What do we want to do? Let's do this Rani because I don't know what the hell it is. Excuse my language. No. What else you got? Cleveland Cliffs, a lot of guys were playing this yesterday. I don't see it. I mean, here's your whole universe, right? Wake me when it gets through it. Like until then, like who cares? Like who cares what it does? Like there's no reason for me to participate in that. What else you got? RR increasing their B shares. You know, I'd really like to look into this more. That's like a power move. And people don't understand those moves. When Google did it, the stock 10x'd from there. And that was like a long time ago. People don't understand this. Almost put a note to myself on this. I want to look into why they did it that way. Because it means they want to keep control of the company, I think, on the voting side. Google did this, and people didn't understand it. And they did it back like here. I'll show you when they did it, because the stock dipped on it. Actually, I think it was back in here when they did it. I think it was like 10 years ago now at this point when they did it. And people didn't understand it. And I remember looking at it and going, oh, man, just buy it. Because what they're doing, the reason people do that, the B shares versus the A shares. And I'm talking as someone that hasn't looked into this. They want the capital. They don't want you to interfere with what the long-term process is of the company. And when you understand why corporations truly do that, you want to give them control of the company, and you don't want some like consultant saying, do this. Like you just don't. You want the people that are running the company to do it. That's actually a selling or a selling point to me, meaning I'd be more interested in buying the stock because of that. Bitcoin, I think, is fine. I think that you really want to watch how this plays out in here, but I don't think there's anything to do. I think you're heading back to there. What's up, Kev? Good morning from Miami. RR, I like. I guess that priced. Did this price today? Is that why I'm getting so many questions on it? Because I see a lot of questions on this. Because if it did, then you might want to watch this today. You know, the fact that no one in here yet is asking about any of these regional banks is fascinating. Sophie. Oh, there we go. Sophie. Yeah, I think stuff like this gets interesting because I think Sophie gets super interesting here because the banks didn't fall apart, right? So if the banks aren't going to fall apart and you have Wall tonight, and that's all you really have to get through. And the probability of Wall having a problem if Zion didn't have a problem is super interesting. And I don't think it's as likely. I am long both of those, by the way. I don't know. I got to rush into it because I'm still in that control bar that I don't seem to be able to get out of that shooting star. But longer term, yeah, let it base and then, wake me when it's up through here. If it's based for a long period of time, I'd be more interested. I don't know that I got to pay here. I'd rather pay up on the breakout. And then if the breakout works, fine. But the cool thing about this is it already broke out, right? So like, here's your breakout, retests that level, holds, consolidates, breaks out again. Then I have a base that I can go off of. So that's really what I'm always looking for, is like stuff like that. Like these kinds of trades are the best. Hits, rejects, goes over again, because you're buying with such a tight stop, and then you don't really have to do anything unless it breaks below where your stop is. You just allow it to come up, form another swing low, goes, hits a high, right? That's still your swing low, takes out another high, swing low, takes out another high, swing low, and just doing it over and over again. If you're trying to stay in it long term, right? Takes out a swing high, and then that might become the swing low at that point, and you might have been stopped out of it. And if you are, whatever, you rode it for a while. I think that makes the most sense if you're trying to stay in them. But I don't know that I need to try to get ahead of that for that buck and a half, and then it just sits there staring at me. That's like super annoying. I don't know that I want to get involved in any of the industrials because the dollar is going to get stronger. So I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines there to see what happens. But the RR is super interesting, the amount of people that are bringing it up today. Yep. So as far as things coming in, I just don't see it that way. We have U.S. Steel. I think that went. Is that still around? That can't be around, right? They got rid of it finally, right? So then you have the Cleveland Cliffs of the world. I don't see that I have to rush into that. You also have like Zeus. So, and some of these names, they're just not participating. So I don't know. I mean, that's pretty washed out, right? If steel's going to rally, right? So depends which names you're looking at. It's so super interesting to me that SLX is doing that. Some of these names are just completely like awful. So let me see something here, man. Because that's super interesting to me, Jacob, that I just ran through a bunch of those names and they look like garbage. So let me just go through this real quick and see what we're missing. Because I'm missing something, right? Do I care? Yeah, I mean, you're 11% of it. What are you doing? So you're 11% of it. You're 9% of it. Cleveland Cliffs MT is 6. And Nucor. So, I mean, what's really the play here? I would think that the play is to play these names and to see what happens. Like you might actually be setting up to break out here. Because it's a divergence if it rolls over again. If it doesn't roll over again, it could break the DTL and go. The left shoulder, head, right shoulder, this is longer, but that's deeper. So it's telling me that that's not what's going to happen. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. I don't think you have that much upside unless oil plummets. If oil plummets, dude, you have it. ISRG is like, man, it's like grabbing the tail of a tiger. You just don't know what you're going to get. Like some of these earnings are fantastic. Their earnings are usually just spectacular. And then it just becomes a function of what the company does. So you're down pretty low right now. And if you were to look at this, man, I wouldn't bet against them. I really would not bet against them and go from there. So I really like this. It's very hard to play into earnings. You're really better off almost playing it after, but you're so beaten down from, like, this is the fourth quarter, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you go here, I mean, beat by 23%, beat by 4%, beat by 13%, like, and you're down after all that. So that means expectations are really low. Oh God. I like this. I don't know how to play this for earnings. I don't know that I do. Something's moving. What's moving? All those. You guys want to watch those regional banks today, especially WAL. I'm surprised no one's asking me about that. GP, what's up? GPUS. Stop it. You're killing me. You're actually killing me. I watched all those software names move yesterday. It holds no interest for me. I don't know enough about it, man. I don't know. I would start looking at this stuff going, can I get above this level in January for taxes? And if I can, then maybe for tax season, maybe it flips. I don't know. It's not on my radar now. Like, not at all. Like, not even a little bit. What's up, Lynn? I own the GS IT. I had it was a massive winner for me yesterday, like massive. I'm going to walk through it, I think, in tonight's video to show how I did it, how we identified it, everything. I think it'd be super helpful. I haven't done a walkthrough in a while, and I got asked to show a TradeZilla, so I'm probably going to do that eventually too. But like, show a trading journal. I bought this again today. I already sold like 70% of it because it didn't hold. I'll show you it. So you need to get above this and stay above this, and you didn't. Now, when it failed here, I broke out, I bought it. And then when it failed, I sold 70%, but I still have it. The thing about this that's fascinating is you're not breaking down. So even though I'm out, I made sure that I held enough that if it does go, I'd still move the needle on my account. But this is not falling apart, Lynn, like, at all. I mean, if you're really just kind of even, you could do it like this and measure from, it doesn't really matter. You can measure from here over, right? And you can see kind of like where everybody's kind of positioned, that 1450. As long as you're not below that, you're fine. But you could drop this from here too, right? And see that's going to put you like around that 14-ish. But really, what I thought was fascinating was this. Like, if I take that high, I'm not going to take that one, but if I take this high and I go to like when all this started, you never ever broke the 50%, which means you've never had net sellers, meaning all you have are net buyers on that trade, which usually means you're going higher. If you have a day like this and you're above like that, Lynn, the next day is usually pretty good. Unless they came out and said we're going to do this enormous secondary, which they didn't do. I don't know. I don't know who's sick of winning. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. Good morning. What's up, Tariq? I don't think these things are done. I think it gets to a kind of valuation level, and then you kind of have to go from there. I would really be watching, like, how do we act when we get to the 55 again? Until then, I don't know what the edge is for me to buy these, because you're going to get some kind of piece on minerals, and then people are going to think it's over, and then we're going to do double secret tariffs, and it's not going to be over. What's up, Troy? We did cover that. UNP's interesting. That whole space is interesting, because if you look at what JB Hunt's doing and what JB Hunt said, transportation's there. If the news is true with what GSIT says they can do, it's huge. Let's see if they can do what they said they can do. Like if they're faster than like Blackwell and it's not as much energy, that's a really good thing for people. So let's see if it's true. Micron, I really like. You hit that call wall like a ton of bricks, and it flipped yesterday, and I actually bought it. It's probably one of my bigger losses on the day, because we flipped it. And I'm like, man, that might become support. I didn't buy that. I bought this. I bought it here, and then when it popped over, I'm like, okay. And I didn't want like the $1.50, so I didn't get out. And then it broke, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to honor the stop, because I'm going to be one and done with it, and then I'm not going to go back to it. But that's what I did with it. Now I think it's got a real issue up there. Beyond now. Yeah, that grail keeps moving. If you could, now I can't look into it, but I can tell you who can. Hold on 1 second. So I'm going to put a name up here, and he will have another link for you this morning. And let me get to him. Let me get you his email. And he'll take care of it immediately, because I don't even read it. I actually have someone that goes through my email at this point. It's just freaking insane. Can I just paste directly to this? Yay. So just this right here, just reach out to him. He, like that department now, they do all the billing, they get all the emails, everything. I can't deal with it anymore. I got to just focus on trading. I got pulled away from trading. Nobody wants me doing organizational stuff, believe me. Email them, and they'll take care of it immediately. A matter of fact, I just sent him the information to this so that he has access to it and knows. So send that to him like immediately, and he will respond. So they're going to dilute. Good evening from New Zealand. New Zealand is beautiful from what I can see. That's where all those hobbits are. Good morning from Miami. I think you just want to chill with these names. These names were vicious yesterday, man, like vicious. And you really want to watch these. Like, you really want to be careful with this stuff. When you start seeing reversals like this, and I think they're going to get lumped into all these names, and I think it's great, because I think we're going to benefit greatly when they all get hammered. But when you get shooting stars like that after reversals, like one day reversal, and you get that, I think you're getting super technical in here, and it's going to be ugly, like ugly. And not just that name, but like that whole space. You need to be super careful. Like, it's not a function. Like, I think IREN is going to be a monster trade. I think that you're looking at probably like this thing's just going to be an absolute monster. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen this week. You know what I mean, bro? Like, these things do pull back. Take me back. I mean, even this stuff's dropping. So yeah, you're just going to really want to watch all of this right now. But I don't think so, man. I think you really just want to watch this stuff and how it's all going to play out. But for me, yeah, it's definitely an issue. So just watch this and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's a big deal, man. You can easily get there today. Let's see what else we got here. Boom, boom, boom. I wonder about GSIT. Did they just do a secondary thing? Just fell out of bed. Did they announce it finally? Because that's what I want. I want the secondary done. Maybe that's why it wasn't coming out. Probably saying 50 million. 50 million. That's all they did. Priced at $10 a share. Oh my God. That's all they did was $50 million. Oof. No problem. Wait till they find out their allocations. You're going to play this game? Really?
Partially filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order cancelled.
How much do I have? Yeah, now go down. I'll buy more at 10. Spot secondary on that at $10. $50 million. That's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Man, if it could go back to 10 and that's all it does, because people are going to find out their allocations and they're going to be like, how much did I get? And freak. I'm not a big fan of SMCI. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can, guys. So if I miss you, don't take it. Adventura, it's nice up there. Don't take it personally if I miss you because I got a bunch to do. I'm not doing anything with the home builders right now. ANF looks awful. PLTR, I'm not doing anything with. I'm out. Yeah, it's a secondary. Yeah, please check on that. What's up, Bogey? Did it stop at the VWAP? Yeah, I'm telling you, the secondary, like $10, like every institution that put in for that is now screaming at their their advisor, going, "How much did I get? Did it stop at the VWAP?" Let's check it out. Let's do it. I love when we can do stuff together. What time is it? 9:06. I got to jump. Well, isn't that special? So, yeah, I added to it as soon as I saw that. It's like a gift. If it goes to 10, I'll buy more. That would be my hope with it. And then then I can kind of start playing with it, see what it's going to do. The names that no one's brought up, guys, and I'm surprised. This Zion was supposed to be the end of all regional banks. And last night it came out and said, no, bro, we're fine. And this was a one-time write-off and everything else is great. And our revenue and earnings are great. WAL is the same thing tonight. No one's asking about these regional banks. You're probably going to want to watch those today. Okay. All right. I got to jump. Well, that was a gift, wasn't it? What a gift that was. Thank you very much. All right. See ya. Make good choices.